I just watched a YouTube video of a YouTuber that's, growing his like channel, and he talks about maladaptive daydreaming, and it's basically where you create a fantasy in your own head of like literally of like people you'll literally think about, like even like friends, or even like a romance, like love partner. And I resonate with this so heavy because hold on. But like I said, it resonates with me. Sorry, I had to like pass a couple people, but it resonates with, like, I think it's high. It's so like, I feel like everyone does it, like, and I can relate to it heavily, where you create this fantasy in your own head where it's like you have like a love partner, you even have probably like even like friends or something, and it's like, even like he even said you like, even like when you watch like your favorite YouTubers, or like something that kind of resonates with you, or like not resonates, but like of someone you want to like become, not exactly them, but like something that you want to, that inspires you to be some. When you do that, it I think this is the right word, induces like dopamine in you, and it almost like manipulates your mind, or like trick your mind that you're actually living that as well. And like it's actually crazy that, and it's so hard to get out of, and that's really what I wanted to say about it. It's like this cycle of that we want to do something, we pick something that we're going to do, and that we at least for me, this is from my experience, I try to I'm trying to like, I can't pick between, if I want to be like, he is a philosopher, big shout out to him, but his name's like Jet Franzen, big shout out to him. But because I resonate with him as well. The only thing like I have that I don't relate, or I don't do it anymore, but I used to, like, there's only like really one or two times I like jeweled like a vape. I only did it a couple times, but that was only like in my teenage years when I was just trying to fit in. I only did it like one or two times, and that was it. And yeah, hold on, past people. Hey. But what I've been trying to do. Oh yeah, but talking about that. Yeah, I'm just right now. I'm stuck in that. It's called maladaptive daydreaming. It's like, I feel like I literally have done this, which is, it's gotten me upset a lot of times. Because I would do it, and he said he would do it as well. He would, you know, do it so much till it literally becomes your reality. And it's like, it's sad, but like, it's scary and sad, because like, you know, your mind's so used to it, but then once you snap out of it, it's like, kind of like how he said, you could be going through hard times, like there's so much pain, like, you know, uncomfortable pain, like anxiety and stuff, and all of a sudden you kind of like just switch that on, and it just kind of like, you know, all that kind of goes away slowly once you do that. And I'm trying to do every day where I am really trying to push myself forward and actually take action, like he said. And honestly, I want to try to grow this channel at least. But I'm trying to as best as I can to get through this. This is really tough, and I bet you a lot of people like me, I bet you there's a lot of people in this world that are just like me and him. But it is so hard to get out of. There's times where it's the cycle where you actually are doing something about it, and then, or doing something that actually you like doing, and all of a sudden you kind of just like, you kind of like overwork yourself, so then you take a break, and then you slowly get lazier and lazier, and then you kind of just like start slacking, and then go back into that maladaptive daydream again, and then just like, oh no, I've taken a real step back, and it's just, this has been the most difficult, like, I would say like 5 years, ever since I was 19, ever since like a year I got out of high school. I thought I would slowly find it, like, naturally, what I, you know, am, you know, meant to, you know, find my career path or pathway. But like I said, like, what I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to do some, literally, like, actually take action every day and make it consistent and a routine, to where, you know, I'm slowly getting out of that shell. But you know, hold on one second. Yeah, but that YouTuber that's like gradually, you know, getting up there, I have mad respect for him, because I can relate heavy to him, that everything he's going through, and it's just, I'm trying to get myself out of that stage. I've actually evolved, so like, all my old friends, not too old, I still talk to them, but like, I just don't have like the same interest. Like, at least for me, this is with me, like, you know how all of us used to love, like, not all, or at least me, I still like sports, like I still watch them, but I'm not like heavy on it, where I'm like, I have like the apps and everything. I never actually used the apps. I didn't even know how to use them. The only thing with me is, with technology, I was never really good with it. Like, I could set it up, but when it came to all the setting up, like putting my card on there and everything, I was just kind of hesitant with that, because I would always feel like it would get hacked, and then my money would just get taken away. So, but I just been really into poetry, and just like classic, you know, things, like in any categories, everything classic. Everything back then was just so much more simpler, you know. everything wasn't so complicated. Like everything is, with technology and social media, everything is just like, here's one opinion, here's that opinion. You're like, there's a whole bunch of things that are like, you should do it this way, this or that way, this is the best way to get out of this. All these videos on YouTube and social media. But there's one I follow, it's called Mindset on Instagram. Mindset something, another one called Mind something. It talks about like, you know, just day-to-day life tips, and talks about trying to think while I'm talking. Like lately I've been overwhelmed. Like I've been having to, like, me walking now, I've been like having to walk like nonstop. And I think that's just a natural thing when we need to, it releases stress, you know, anxiety and stuff like that. I'm trying to, I'm trying to, I'm trying to tell myself, learn each day. Like I'm reading that one book, The Sickness Unto Death by Sharon Ari Kierkegaard, or Shireen Kierkegaard. It's about, not literally actual sickness, obviously. It's like the mind. And it's like being in despair where you're completely hopeless. There's no motivation. So you basically just go on like autopilot. And I literally snapped out of it. And like I said, I have epilepsy in my old videos. So like it kind of is, it kind of, the epilepsy has an effect on me. But I would say it has like a strong effect on me, but what I try to tell myself is stop making excuses. Like I'm so tired of myself doing that. So I try to catch myself when I do it, or even catch myself, like I said, with the maladaptive daydreaming. It's just so hard. But I'm trying to make it a routine to. But the thing for me that I'm struggling, if anyone else can relate, I can't pick which career path. Like I either want to go poetry, like art, like drawing, which I do have arts I can show. And maybe my next video I'm trying to make one at least. I'm gonna post this video today, and then make another one tonight, show you my art. And then I also have poems I wrote. They're really short poems, but then also quotes I've also made, like with, dealing with philosophy and like being influenced by philosophers, which I've always read on Pinterest, which is where I get mine. But then I just watched that one YouTuber, like I said, and I have mad respect for him, Jet, But yeah, I'm going through. I feel like we're all going through the same thing, man. But it's all for, like the quote says. I don't think it's exactly word for word, but it's hell, or I should say this first. Heaven is heaven. Heaven feels like hell, like the road to heaven, like to where you success, and like, that feels like hell. But the road to hell, or hell, feels like heaven. You know what I mean? Basically meaning you put your all, and like even if it feels so uncomfortable, so all the work you put in, all that like time you put in, that you feel like is, you're just putting your all into it, and you know how exhausting, especially mentally. Oh my god. So I've been going through it so much lately. But yeah, the road to heaven it's not exactly it, but like the one I just said was the exact quote. But it's the road to, like I said, the road. I'm just saying it because I'm just kind of gonna put it in the road, the road line. The road to, or I guess to say the destination, or no, I'll just say the road to hell feels like heaven, and then the road to heaven feels like hell. Like I said, putting all that work in, but then, like, the road to hell feels like heaven, meaning you're kind of on autopilot. You're kind of just not really, like, don't have a motive or a, you don't really have a passion. You don't really have a goal. You don't have any goals. You don't have any, there's no determination in what you're doing. I don't think you even know what you're doing. And I even wrote some lines down, or it could be a quote from that Sharon Kierkegaard. It's the book, The Sickness Unto Death. But it says, I should have brought my journal with me because I wrote them all down, or I wrote 3 of them down. But it was, it's, I'm trying to think. It's all about, you hear a lot about despair in there. And I feel like that's where we all are. And that's basically just being on autopilot and just kind of trying to just go on with the crowd almost. But that's a type of despair. Because it said people that are in despair, that say they're into despair, know they're in despair, but at the same time, they know what they need to do, but they don't really do it. It's kind of how that's kind of in that maladaptive daydreaming comes into play. So, yeah, like, that's what I'm trying to avoid the most. That is the one thing that I just couldn't figure out what it was. Like, it feels like you're literally doing something and you just zone out, or you snap out of it, like how you zoned into that, and you're like, holy shit, that didn't actually happen. That was just me imagining it. Like, it's just crazy. Like, and I'm trying actually hard. Like, when I post these videos, I'm only posting it from my phone camera. I want to get like an actual camera and stuff. But sorry. Just getting exhausted from talking and walking at the same time. But yeah, it's just scary because you're like you could see someone and then be like, oh, I did talk to them. But then when you snap out of it, you're like, oh, I didn't really. I just imagined that. Like, but I feel like with actually doing it, regardless of how you feel. I mean, if you're really like drained, obviously take care of your health, but just working, just nonstop, regardless, going through the pain, knowing it's gonna do you good in the end. But yeah, I do have a job. It's only part-time though. But yeah, like the main thing or 2 things. The main thing was obviously the maladaptive daydreaming. That's something that I did heavy, and you're like, and you say you did that as well, which I feel a lot of people have or really can relate to. Is that, especially with people that are like introverted, but extroverts don't really. Maybe here and there, it's like maybe a couple couple times each year, but introverts, I bet, heavily do that. Yeah, but what also I wanted to talk about was, sorry for those, like, like, those, when I'm just not even talking, it's just because I'm passing people, so, um, but, like, I feel like we're all becoming, like, AIs, and, like, just basically, we're letting them take over our minds, stuff, just the way we behave, and it's just, you don't really see people out as much. Like me, I'm always going on walks and, like, runs. I love running. I feel like that's very rare to hear, like, but, like, that one, like, pig marathon thing, um, that's, I think that already happened, but you have to sign up, I think, like, either 6 months or to, like, a year in advance, where you, like, do a marathon. I completely forget what it is. I'm sorry. I'm honestly a little slow, obviously. I was the one in school. I was the one where, like, I had to go, like, when we had to take, like, tests, or if it was, like, kind of like a like, an assignment that had, like, a bunch of, like, papers on it, so it was a lot to do. We always had like, like, helper teacher, or, like, assistant teacher, you know what I mean? We would have to go in, like, a separate room, and I wasn't the only one, but it was other people like me. We weren't really slow, but it was like we process, we learned a different way. Like, we know what they're talking about, but the way they explain it, we can't completely understand what they're, we kind of, plus people with ADHD and, like, autism and stuff, probably. I think I have really bad ADHD. It's not extreme though, it's just the daydreaming, kind of like the maladaptive daydreaming. Like, I have it really bad. Like, it was so bad to the point where, when I think I was, like, even when I turned my teen years, like late teens, like 18, 19, I was like, holy crap, I daydreamed most of my life. I mean, I do have a lot of memories of, like, being with my friends. It's really fun, but I remember just sitting there and being, like, sitting back and just going, like, like, I remember even times I would spend the night with my friends, and they'd be like, Luke, and I was like, oh wow, I was like, I did zone out. But then it could be, honestly, like I said, like, I talk about my epilepsy on my channel, could be that, but yeah, like I said, I talk about my epilepsy on my channel. Sorry, I had to pass people again, but yeah, I talk about my epilepsy. I have focal ones, like I said, the ones where I just kind of blank out. It's kind of like almost like a spell, where it just looks like you're just, like, blanked out like this, just staring. And yeah, I mean, it could have been those, like, early signs of those, but I don't know. That's one thing with epilepsy as well. It's very confusing. But then, you get through it. But you have medicines that can give you mood swings. But I feel like I've always had mood swings, and I had to deal with the, imagining, like the daydreaming. So, but anyway, I know a lot of people can relate out there to what I'm going through. At least if you're relating to exactly what I'm going through, like I'm stuck in that daydreaming thing. But then also am very aware of, um, very aware of I'm very aware that I'm running out of time. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it's scary. It's like it's scaring me because I'm getting older, and I want to do something about it, but I'm not actually taking action, like literally getting up and doing it. The thing I've been doing is going to my near grocery store, like walking, because I can't drive, and I'll at least try to talk to people while I'm grocery shopping, because I do somewhat have social anxiety because of it. I think it's the kind of despair that it's a type of there's versions of despair. There's not names, but it's just despair in general. It's that fitting in. When I was younger, fitting in with the crowd, almost like I feel like I just wasn't being me, wasn't enough. So I kind of just, like, I would show myself here and there, but most of the time I was just trying to be like everyone else. So basically blending in with the crowd. But then once I got into like high school, then I kind of showed myself a little bit, so I kind of came out of my shell. But it's just tough. But I think the key to it is just taking action, like every day, and consistency. That is the biggest thing, consistency. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, the only social media that I really use is Instagram. Like, that is the main thing I've used. Snapchat, I feel like Snapchat and Twitter are like the two worst. Like, I can't. They brainwash you, and I mean, so does Instagram as well, but like, I've even turned off my notifications completely on like all social medias, which is I only have Snapchat and Instagram. But anyway, I think the key to getting out of it, I think, is just consistency and just working towards something that you actually think that you enjoy doing, and find joy in it, and brings you peace. And also making sure you're living in the present. And that's the one thing I've been telling myself. Living in the past is just dreading and thinking of all like the things that went wrong, and then thinking like, oh, and when you actually snap out of it, and you're like, oh, this reminds me of that one moment. It almost gives you like a deja vu feeling. Kind of like relates to this epilepsy, but I feel like someone can relate, or like anyone can relate to that feeling. Where it's like that deja vu feeling, like, oh, this seems exactly like this moment. It's like, I don't want that to happen again, so I'm gonna avoid it. So like, and then the future, living in the future is like thinking of like, what could I be? Where could I be right now if I do this, if I do that? You have to just do it, like Nike, or like that one actor, Shia. Just do it, like literally just do it. But make sure you're actually understanding it. Obviously, you're not going to understand it fully right off the bat. It's a gradual, like, years, which is scaring me, but it's that gradual progress or process. But yeah. And then at least for me, this is the last thing I want to say, and it's not about the daydreaming, but it's about me trying to work on like poetry and poetry and art and all that. I'm saying like philosophy. I'm doing it as hobbies, but one of them I want to make a career. I just can't choose. That's the main thing that's killing me right now. But then also, what I was gonna say is, oh crap, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, it slipped my mind. But I can't even think of it anymore. I'll think about it while I'm walking right now. I don't think I can think of it. But yeah, it might have been despair I was talking about, or trying to just think what I was thinking about, but I'll get back to it on another video if I remember. But peace out.